us live, which takes a couple seconds, 30 seconds or so, and we will be ready to go. Go. And we are live. What's up, good people? It's your boy, Leroy McKenzie Jr., coming to you again, again. Y'all know we were live yesterday, but I felt so good about yesterday that I thought I'd do it again today. But want to welcome y'all to the brand new development series part 2 this week. This week, so y'all know that I'm focused on positioning, getting yourself into position this week. I want you to get into position to be a success and to be great. And yesterday was phenomenal with Brother Shadid Eliezer, and I want to shout out him really quickly and say thank you. I've gotten so much great feedback from people who have watched his live yesterday. Thought that he was just absolutely outstanding. Gave some great knowledge, information, and resources that people can readily use. So, brother, shout out to you. Thanks, Shadid. But tonight, I'm following him up with another one of my BPM brothers. As you can see, he got the shirt representing representing us, the Black professional men, as we do, ensuring the future of the African American male. And we do that by educating, activating, and elevating the community. And that's what we're all about. And tonight is going to be no different. We're going to bring you some knowledge, information, and resources that is going to educate you, that's going to activate you, and then it's going to elevate you. And y'all know what I do is to enlighten, empower, and impact, which is to teach you something, to equip you with something, and then to impact you to want to do something. So that's what we're looking to do tonight. And tonight, I have with me this brother by the name of Mr. Troy Mobley, and we're going to get into who this brother is, what he does, how he does it, and then we're going to talk about some keys to being an entrepreneur and some sales aspect of that tonight. Because he actually is going to be a part of our Facebook Live content series. So if you all aren't familiar with that, Black Professional Men, we have a weekly or monthly shows that we have with either members of the organization or with our community partners that bring you information, resources that are or that will educate you, activate you, and elevate you. And they bring their expertise, they bring their great knowledge, they bring their information that will take you to your next level in your business or in your community, whichever kind of dictates to you or whichever works best for you. But that's what we're here to do. So I wanted to bring this brother on tonight to have him talk about what he has coming up, so you all can look forward to having look forward to his series and the great things that he is going to be bringing to you all. Because I promise you, you will learn a lot from him. You will gain a lot from him, and he will be able to assist you to be able to put you in the position that you need to be in as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, and as a part of your community. So without further ado, I'm going to let him talk about himself for a little bit, introduce himself to everybody, tell everybody just a little bit about who he is and how he got started, and then we'll get into more of the conversation. Brother Troy, how are you?
Doing well, brother. Brother Leroy, how's your evening?
It's going great.
Good.
How about yours?
Yeah, it's great. It's great, man. Thanks for having me on.
Oh, absolutely.
Priming the third week of July, which will be the first meeting for Matrix Connect Group. We'll be presenting on Facebook Live on the BPM platform. So appreciate the opportunity to do the primer.
No,
and,
absolutely.
And to participate in your show. So I too watched Brother Shadid last night, and it's a hard act to follow. I wish I had gone first.
That brother is for sure.
Yeah. Brother Shadid, he's definitely on top of the game. Been doing it a very long time.
Yeah.
So, but a little bit about myself.
Mm-hmm.
I have a background of printing. I ran a printing press for 23 years. Actually, to the age I was 40 years old. That's when I went to college, and got a degree in Office Information Technology, and that sufficed. But I wanted to sell. I really wanted to sell because I saw a gentleman come in and sell the company I was working for a digital press.
Okay.
So through that, watching that whole transaction over the course of 4 months, I said, that's what I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, I quit my job. 2 months later, I quit my job.
Wow.
And didn't have a college degree, so quit my job, went straight through, got a degree in Office Information Technology. So from there, I couldn't get a job. After I graduated, couldn't get a job selling. So I took a job. My first position outside of being a blue collar worker was project coordinator for R. Donnelly, which was one of the largest printing companies. So still wanted to sell, right? I still had this drive to sell. So I took a position selling Acuras, did that for 6 months. And then that afforded me the opportunity to get a position with Konica Minolta at a startup branch. Konica Minolta is a global Fortune 1000 company selling digital press. So I supported 4 distribution channels as well as a startup branch. So we had 6 reps that I supported at that branch, plus 3 other distribution channels. So it was quite an endeavor because again we had 0 clients, and I had no real sales experience, B2B sales experience. I had B2C selling Acuras, right? So I had a little experience, but it didn't have the experience that I really needed. So I had to do a lot of learning. I had to catch up really quick. So with that being said, I spent a whole lot of time reading, listening to books, listening to others, on how to be successful because failure was not an option for me. And note that I was in central Pennsylvania as I was building this market with Konica Minolta, and I was selling. No one looked like me. No one looked like me. And so that was a challenge in itself because I couldn't sell relationally. So I had to bring value. So I was forced in many ways to be a trusted advisor. I had to know what I was talking about for 2 different reasons. First of all, I didn't have the relationship factor to leverage, and I didn't have sales experience. So I had to overcome that. And so I had to be an expert. I had to know what I was talking about.
Okay.
So and it's even exasperated because I was selling to commercial printers, data centers, and central reproduction departments for hospitals, colleges, universities. And if you know anything about commercial printers or anybody that's dealing with selling print, they're very tough customers because they're selling what the equipment that you're selling to them, they are reselling. So anytime you're reselling something, that the equipment that you're selling, you're pretty strict on demanding on the level of consultation that you get. So I really had to learn quickly. I was grateful. I was really grateful for the opportunity because it made me do just that, learn. And so I had to learn marketing. I had to learn, again, to how to sell high ticket items. The average ticket item was $80,000. So anywhere between $50,000 to $250,000 pieces of equipment. So, that's a pretty big purchase. So, and again, yeah. So that forced me into a situation to learn a lot and to read a lot. So from that experience, I did that for 7 years with Konica Minolta. And then I accepted the position with Canon. I was as a branch manager in a different demographic in Virginia. And it was a failing branch.
Mm.
We grew that branch. We were able to recover that branch in 8 months. And the only way I was able to do that was because of my experience with production print, because they're large ticket items, right? So we also sold the copiers, the multifunctional devices, right? Which have a little bit different sale process and a little faster sales cycle than your larger equipment. But your larger equipment is going to provide you with a bigger bang for your buck. So that's how we were able to turn the branch over in such a short period of time. So got that management skill under my belt. Always understood the power, and Shadi touched on this yesterday, always understood the power of the CRM. Mm. It was a combination of me knowing the power of a CRM and knowing that I had to set up standard operating procedures, right, to fully leverage our efforts to build that branch up. Okay. So the CRM was already purchased, but they weren't utilizing it because upper management was still managing to a spreadsheet, from a spreadsheet, if you would. So a spreadsheet is not going to remind you of the secretary's name that you've called on, okay, with the first time you met with them. Typically you're going to have about 8 different touches or more before you get a sale.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so the CRM is going to provide you with a process, an automated process to prompt you through the sales cycle. Because if you can remember everything you need to do with every client, you don't have enough going on and you're not going to be successful. And you can keep it all in your head or even on paper, you're probably not going to be successful. You have to have a trusted system that where you can park your tasks and activities that you need to do for each account and each client.
Wow.
So, you're not, first of all, you're not missing any deliverables. And, you're reaching out to them when you said you were going to reach out to them. But that's the quickest way to lose a sale is to not touch that client or call that client when you said you were going to.
Absolutely.
So I'm sure you can relate to that. So
absolutely.
So in that process, I implemented a standard operating procedures for utilizing CRM at Canon, and we were able to turn that branch around. So, and I'm gonna fast forward really quick. So from that experience, I learned, through the whole process, I learned how to do a proper assessment. People call themselves sales consultants many times, but they aren't solving problems. They'll use the word solution, but the solution is only applicable if you solve a problem.
Absolutely.
So through my whole sales experience, the main thing I learned was how to do a proper assessment, how to analyze the client's current understanding, how to understand their current workflow process. Mm. And you always start very simply, like an enterprise in a small to mid-sized business or even a larger entity. you just get their 3 mission critical documents. And then you find out what system has created it, each touch point of that document throughout its life cycle, right? Who touches it next? Who touches it after that? Who touches it after that? And you simply document it. Then you draw up a visual diagram, right? So once you've captured that, and if they give you time to do that, so they don't always give you time to do that because they don't. Let's say it's a multifunctional device opportunity, right? And they're looking at it as a copier, not a communication device.
Okay.
They're not going to give you, they typically will not give you the time necessary to do their proper assessment. It just comes, so it's just going to be a price at that point.
Mm-hmm.
So I say that to say that value is only valuable if it's valued. Value is only valuable if it's valued.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can spend a whole lot of time on a client that you're not going to make any money on.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Right? All business is not good business. So if they don't provide you the time, if not willing to provide you the time, then you just give them a price and you keep moving. So the whole key to sales, any sale, first of all, every as you know, every sale is emotional, right? It's an emotional purchase, especially big ticket items.
Big ticket items, yeah, absolutely.
Especially big ticket items. So if they won't give you the time to do a proper assessment, then you're not going to make any money. So we all in business to make money, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right, Dewan?
Absolutely. But that's the bottom line, and folks don't. Well, I don't say folks don't understand it. I think folks understand it. I think some folks, they take it. They. I'll put it like this: money isn't the be all end all. You shouldn't be out here chasing money, but at the same time, you have to understand. In order for you to function as a business, you need money. You need that resource in order to be able to do what it is that you want to do. So
absolutely. Absolutely. And not only do we want to make money, we want to help the client.
Right.
We can't
absolutely.
help the client. We can't help the client if they don't give us the time. So I used to tell my teams, you're a doctor. When you walk into an account, you're a doctor. Look at yourself as a doctor. You have to evaluate the patient. You have to evaluate. You can't just come up with a diagnosis until you've, but if a patient won't give you an opportunity, right?
They won't tell you what's wrong initially.
And they're going to tell you what's wrong initially, tell you what they want, then you can't help them.
Right. Absolutely.
You can't help them. So with those type of patients, you don't want to turn down any business, but you give them the price because that's what they're asking for, because they've already, especially when you're talking about technology sales, they've already done their homework.
Mm-hmm.
They've already done their homework and they already know what it is that they want. So they think. So this is why you have to be on top of your game on any sales that you're doing, because you have to bring, and I heard you say this many times, you have to bring value. Right. You have to bring value to the client. People will do buy from people they know, like, and trust, right? But I put a different spin on that. Mm-hmm. I believe that people want you to like them more than they need to like you. They need to respect you. And you need to bring them value. They will do business with people even if they don't particularly like you personally. They will still do business with you if you're bringing them value. You want them to like you. You want them to like you, but sometimes, most times, sales professionals will try to make them like you more than bring value, so they won't they won't disagree with a client, which is a crucial mistake. Crucial mistake, because you have to challenge them, but you have to do it in a gentle way, right? So anyway, getting back to the assessment, that is, that is the key to any sale, because without the proper assessment and evaluation, especially when you're talking about technology or any professional service, you don't necessarily need to be cheaper than the next guy. Right. You just need to be able to show the prospect or client why. What I mean by that is, okay, I'm $5,000 more. Okay, but look at the time that I'm giving you back. You told me that you have 5 customer service reps and they have to get up to walk over here 3 times a day. You pay them $15 an hour. So the software solution that I'm providing you, Mr. Customer, is eliminating the need for 2 of those trips per CSR. Mm-hmm. So we capture that information, and then we turn that time into dollars.
Right.
And calculating. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, that's what I call maximizing productivity. Because if I don't have to, like you said, if I go from having to go back and forth from 3 times to just 1 time, I'm maximizing them being able to be more productive in what they're doing versus that time that they have to spend to walk over here, to do this and do that, to be able to get here, to get there, go see this person, to be able to get this from them. Where if I can stay stationary and the information can come to me, I can get the information and still just go and keep on about doing what I need to do in order to be able to get more work done.
You know? Absolutely. But when you are presenting a proposal to an owner or CEO, you have to provide it to them in dollars and cents.
Right.
You have to convert that time that you're saving them into dollars and cents. If you don't do that conversion, they're in their mind, well, I'm paying them anyway, they could just do it. I'm already paying them. They could just continue to do it. So anyway, so you have to make that conversion, and you have to be able to do a proper assessment. That's the key. That's the key to sales.
Cool.
It really is. In addition to capturing each touch point, each time you've engaged with that client, capturing information and put it into a CRM, so that you can have a continuum of follow-up with that client, whether or not it's email, whether or not it's a phone call, or whatever that method of communication is.
Maybe. Gotcha. Now let's talk a little bit about, I guess, what you have coming up. Because you have, like I mentioned before, that you're going to be one of BPM's lives content providers and part of our live series. What's the purpose of your upcoming series? And then just talk a little bit about what people can what people can expect from it, or what some of the topics that you're going to be talking about.
Well, as you know, there are several different things that I provide. Matrix Connect Group is the name of my organization. Mm-hmm. And within Matrix Connect Group, because of my experiences dealing in corporate America, this is why Matrix Connect Group was birthed, because small and mid-sized businesses and entrepreneurs, solopreneurs are not focused on. Most corporations that have the resources to consult properly and have the personnel who can consult properly are focusing on the large businesses. So because of that, Matrix Connect Group was birthed, because the small and mid-sized businesses are left out. They're left out. They're left out of marketing. They left out their printing requirements and consulting. And most of your small and mid-sized businesses, 20 or less, they don't have health coverage.
Right, absolutely.
So there's 3 divisions of Matrix Connect Group. There's the printing and promotional products.
Okay.
consulting, and there's telemedicine. The telemedicine portion of it is just an affiliate program, but I needed to have something to provide prospects and clients. But to answer your question specifically, what clients can expect, they can expect to better understand how to move information, how to develop systems, software, processes to be more efficient. Because we live in an information society, it's all about how quickly you can move information. That can make you more competitive. The faster you can move information, the faster you can get that invoice, the faster you can get that proposal out, right? And the more efficient you can move that. You have efficiency and you have effectiveness. Two different things, right? So you have to be both.
Right.
So with the proper system, it doesn't take a whole lot. It just needs someone to do a proper assessment of your current environment, right? Proper assessment of the current environment, and then it can be a phase-in process. So getting back to your question, what can they expect? They can expect to understand the steps that they need to take to augment, re-engineer their current process, right? And what they don't understand, we will share amongst ourselves information to make all of us better. So I do that through series of asking questions, the same way as I do sales, right? Because you can tell somebody something, but a person convinced against their will is still the same opinion still. So that's what I mean by that is I can tell you what you need to do, but unless you believe it,
Hello.
it's not gonna mean anything. You're gonna say, yeah, okay, but you're gonna go back and do it your way. Right?
And absolutely. And it's funny you say that what you're talking about, because you got me thinking about, and this was got to be at least 20 years ago. And I think I might be aging myself by saying that, something 20 years ago. but I'm working for this company, and this is what prompted me to write one of my books, because I'm working for this company, and we had, like you were saying, we had at the company I worked for, we had satellite offices throughout the country because we placed employees at these different manufacturing places throughout the country. So we had a number of employees, and my responsibility was the northwest quarter of the country. I had a office that I worked up in Seattle, Washington. And the way that their process was, all of the employees that we had in there, we had to invoice the company. Now, mind you, those employees worked in different departments. So that invoice had to go to every department to get signed off on by that particular manager. And I don't think I need to tell you the trouble that we had trying.
I can imagine.
So I'm like, yeah, they could have used you some 20 years ago with that kind of mindset and that kind of system in place to be able to do what it is, exactly what you're talking about, being more efficient. That way, I'm not hunting around to find out who has the invoice. I can't tell you how many times we trying to figure out who has this particular invoice. Well, it was with so-and-so last, or it was over here and they had it. I'm like, there's got to be a better way for this to happen. I lied to you not. So I'm sitting here listening to you, and I'm like, oh my God, yeah, they could have that company definitely needed something like that back then. So I wholeheartedly see and recognize what you're talking about as far as the importance of having that system, that centralized system in place that will navigate that one invoice throughout that whole entire company that it needed to get to, so that you know at any point where that particular invoice is, and it can get back to you in the most efficient and effective way. You know,
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, and I bet, Leroy, I bet they didn't think anything was wrong, did they?
no, they didn't, because that was like you said, that was what they were used to doing. And this company was no little small company. This was a mid to large company. It was a national company, so it had, it was huge. So, and it used to upset me because the companies we were dealing with were Fortune 500 companies, and I'm like, you got to be kidding me! You have these Fortune 500 companies that I had the worst time with. I was like, their processing systems were the worst. So I was just like, yeah, there's got to be a better way for them to be able to do what it is that they do. And like I said, that prompted me to write the book, to write the book that I wrote from that. And it was just like, because you got to maximize your productivity, and that's a waste of time, which time is money, when it comes to employees, and you want them to be as efficient and effective, like you said, as they need to be and can be while they're there for you for those 8 hours, a day. You want them doing
Absolutely.
you want them doing work, let's say 7 hours, seven and maybe 6.5 that I talk about, because you know how folks are on those jobs. You come in, you're supposed to start at 8:30. You come in at 8:30. You got to get your coffee. So you done spent the whole half an hour making your way around the office, talking to everybody about last night and about about the
Right.
music, about the TV show that you don't watch. So by the time they sit down and do what they need to do, they're already a half an hour, 45 minutes into their day and haven't done anything.
Right.
So they sit down for a couple hours, do some work, then it's lunchtime. So then you got another hour that they get because they have the lunchtime. And it's just about, I can't stress more, like you said, the importance of understanding how to maximize your productivity. And the way that you do that, Shadi talked about it last night, you're talking about it again tonight from a sales perspective and everything like that, is having that CRM in place, but then also having those other systems in place, so that your business is running, not just running, but even if you aren't there, there's still a way that system is still in place, and people know what to do. They know how they're supposed to go about doing it, and the importance of that, because it allows you to be able to do what you need to do. It may even like you said, free up some time for you to be able to do other things with
Absolutely.
your time. So
Absolutely. And going back to your example, you were frustrated during that whole experience, right? Because so not only are you unproductive and wasting money,
mm-hmm.
where you can have your employees, or yourself for that matter, if
Right.
you're an entrepreneur, focusing on your core competency, which should be getting new business,
Mm-hmm.
because you're spending so much time working on the business that you have, instead of focusing on getting new prospects and suspects, right?
Right.
So building that pipeline. So
right.
You're taking away from that part. And if you have employees, you have frustrated employees whose head now is out the game, because they, to your point, I know there's got to be a way to be doing this. I'm tired of doing this in a stupid way. So now they're like, I'm going to do whatever. I'm going to take that hour and a half lunch because I can't deal with this stupidity anymore. Yeah. Right. Yeah. So it does not, when you have inefficient processes, that's why part of my assessment is end user, right? End user interviews, right? Mm-hmm. So these are some of the things that we're going to talk about on the third Thursday of every month. Mm-hmm. Little different aspects. And basically, I'm going to have an agenda, but I'm going to be very flexible, because I want to make sure whatever audience that I have, I'm answering their questions. Mm-hmm. And other people can engage with me at another time. But the people who are tuned in, we're going to be sharing information, and I'm going to make sure that their needs are met that people are taking the time to tune into it. Also, by the way, there are going to be free BPM shirts. I also produce these for BPM, and they're going to be a free BPM shirt given away session. So tune in on the third Thursday of every month, starting
What time?
at 7:00. Thank
Okay.
you.
Cool.
7:00, third Thursday.
Now
You
let's
get
talk.
a free BPM shirt at the end. So tune in.
Now let's talk a little bit about who should tune in, because we mentioned we want people to watch, but who is your target audience that you want, that you know specifically? Hey, these are the folks that I know definitely for sure, because we want as many people to tune in as they can. But for sure, these particular entrepreneurs or these particular people need to be watching your particular live stream.
Small, mid-sized businesses, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, sales and business professionals.
I like that. Now, how about aspiring entrepreneurs?
Aspiring entrepreneurs as well, because you have to, sight is the enemy of vision, right? So if you just operate for what you see, you're never going to get to where you need to be. So to your point, as far as aspiring entrepreneurs, if you get the information, see the vision, right, you can work toward that, right? Even if it's a phase-in process, you might not have the capital right away to do things. But if you have the vision, you can have a phase-in process rather than reacting as you get new information. The more information you can get up front, the better.
Absolutely. And like I told y'all, my focus this week has been putting people in the position to succeed. And if you're an aspiring entrepreneur and you have this information, like you said, Troy, if you have it beforehand, if this is part of your pre-planning process, if you include this in your pre-planning process, what kind of processes do I need? What kind of sales do I need to be doing? How do I have that? How do I get that CRM into, implemented into my system, into my company? How does that affect my company? When you have all of that information or beforehand, or you have an understanding, at least have an understanding of it, if nothing else, you have an understanding of it, and you're doing all of this pre-work and the research and all of those things, then it puts you in the position to be more successful. Because that's my goal for entrepreneurs. You can find books here, there, everywhere about how to start a business. But what they don't give you, to me, they don't give you people like you, Troy, that give you those tactical tools that you're going to need to keep your doors open after that 5-year period, which is usually that time span that they tell you most businesses aren't successful. They fail within the first 5 years. But I promise you, if you have these tools that Troy is giving you, I promise you, there will be a more likelihood that you will be successful in your business and your entrepreneurship career than you won't be if you don't have and don't use this information, because that's what you should be looking for. How can I be successful more than just in that first 5 years? I don't want to start a business and then have to close down. That even if you go through a COVID-19, you understand your system is in place. So, hey, whether I'm sitting at home at my laptop or whether I'm sitting in a brick and mortar store or office building and I'm working, my system is still working. I don't need the brick and mortar in order for my system to still work, because I can do that from anywhere. So it is about having those systems in place. Let's do this. What do you want your viewers to come away with from watching your series? What are they gonna come away with at the end of the day?
Well, everybody's probably going to come away with something a little bit different, but
Okay.
what I want them to come away with is something that they didn't learn before, they didn't know before, first and foremost, and understanding how important it is to move, to have the speed of information. It's critical. It's critical to move information as quickly as possible with the less with less touches, right?
Mm-hmm.
Clicks, less clicks,
Okay.
less movements. Just like when I ran a printing press, which made me so good running a press is because I limited my movements.
Okay. Okay.
Right? So I want them to come away with different ways to be more efficient and effective. And it's typically done through software and technology.
Mm-hmm.
It could be a combination of different technologies, plugins, extensions. There's a whole vast way of doing it. I'm going to share some of the things that I utilize for my business. I use Zoho for my personally for my CRM, but I've used quite a few. Siebel CRM. I've used Salesforce.com. I'm actually a guru at Salesforce.com, but I'm going to show them some of the tools that I utilize and why I utilize them. And you don't have to use those tools, but you need to use some tool to a similar action. And again, emphasizing CRM, emphasizing different tools, task management tools that you can utilize as well.
Oh, that's great. Now, can you tell the viewers the importance of the information that they will receive from watching your series? What you talk about, and I want you to talk a little bit about. You talk about speed. You keep talking about speed. What's the importance of having that speed, and then how can that benefit them by watching a program, watching your series or your program to understand what that speed will do for them?
Speed and make you more competitive.
Mm.
The speed will make you more competitive and give you the ability to do more with less.
Which I think is what a lot of big companies look to do, don't they?
Yeah, you wanna do more with less, and that's typically headcount. Typically headcount. With the proper system, you can look like a huge conglomerate with 1 or 2 people. Because you have a system in place. You have especially now, for example, I on my website, I just implemented a chat function. So the chat robot will engage with you, and then it'll hand off to me, or I'll get a ping as soon as you go to my website. It's just little different things depending on the business, and that's uncovered through an assessment. You know, and every person is unique. Every company is going to be a little bit unique. It's going to be based on their current understanding of technology, and it's going to be based on their individual need.
Wow. Wow. So
yeah,
y'all getting it right here and now. I mean, I'm telling y'all, if y'all aren't tuned in, if you're an entrepreneur, salesperson, and you don't tune in the third Thursday of each month to be able to gain this kind of knowledge, this kind of information, because I'm telling y'all, this stuff is golden. It is golden for you. Now, this week I've been talking about getting people into position. To be successful and to be great. How important is it for businesses to put themselves in the position to be successful from a sales perspective? And then what kind of advantage can that give them in their particular industry by having these systems in place, you think?
pipeline. You know, you're able to manage your pipeline. You're able to focus on, you know, hate to be repetitive, but on your core competency, which is selling to whatever you sell, whatever service you offer. You can focus on that instead of the different aspects of that sale. So if you have a system in place, then the system reminds you of the sales process, because once you develop your process, and you're going to always hone it somewhat, but you use automation to remind you how to do it. Because once you develop your sales process for industry and your particular company, you just want to repeat that. You don't want to have to think about it each time, because you want to have enough in your pipeline, enough prospects, suspects, right? So that you can't manage it all, but you can't remember. The mind is really not designed for remembering, it's designed for thinking. You got to have a trusted place to put your task so that the system will remind you of the different steps in the sales process. That's what a CRM will provide you, in addition to remembering people's names, remembering your last conversation. You know, each step of that sales process, it has to be captured, so that when I come back to you, Leroy, and say, call you by name and pick up on our conversation right where we left off at. That's going to make your clients feel important.
That's a powerful tool right there.
It's a powerful tool.
It's a powerful tool right there, because one of the things that I've been talking about this week is relationships. Because relationships, when you build that rapport, those relationships with, with your clients or your customers, they then become more than just a one-time client or one-time customer. They become loyal, but then not only do they become loyal, they also will refer people to you, so they can assist you in being able to bring in more clients to you, just because of that relationship that you develop with them. So that's important. So let me ask you this: these are the last two questions. This last three. This is one of them. For those entrepreneurs that have had businesses for a while, and they have systems that are antiquated, how can you assist them? Because I'm gonna give you an example. It's the company I worked for. I lied to you not, and I worked for a company back in 2000. No, late 1900, late 90s, early 2000s, right? And the software that they used back then was new. This other company that I was working part-time for, they have that same system now. So how can you help those companies that those entrepreneurs that have systems that need to be upgraded and updated? How can they? What would you say to them? How can you talk to them, or how will you?
Well, first of all, value is only valuable if it's valued. Value is only valuable if it's valued. So they don't see the value in upgrading a system. They're not going to do it. So what I would do is ask to do an assessment of their current process.
Okay.
I would document that. I would capture the time that it's taking them to do each function in their sales process. It could be, I could start in the invoice. If it's a large company, I could start in the invoicing department. Just look at that aspect of their business, because everybody wants to get invoiced. Everybody wants to get paid quick, right?
Absolutely.
So typically, that's where you want to start in AR, right? Typically, you want to start there because everyone wants to get paid fast, and CEOs or business owners, they want that. So you can typically start in that department with no problem. And you find the bottlenecks in their workflow, and you do, like I mentioned earlier, you have to convert their time into money. They're spending the money. They're already spending the money somewhere, but they're spending that money in human capital.
Gotcha.
They're spending that money in human capital, and now they're attached to that human. So if that human is out sick, if that human goes to another job, what do you do?
Yeah.
If you have a system in place with as much automation as possible, you can free that human up to focus on bringing in new business or heighten the level of customer service for those ad hoc situations. let the system manage all the general, non-ad hoc tasks. So, so I would do an assessment of their current workflow process, try to educate them as much as possible, but everyone's not going to receive it. I'm very aware of that, but that's where I would start. And then showing them how much money that they're already spending, that they can just move the money from this bucket in human capital to a system that's going to make them more efficient and have not going to have employees like Leroy that was frustrated with the system because it was old and you had to run around and find out what invoice, which is going to take people's head out the game.
I know, right?
It's going to take your head out the game, and you're not going to be productive because you can't stand stupidity. Right?
All right, and I know we got to go, but I got you. Just made me think of this and what's going on currently with corporations or companies like Home Depot, like Giant, I don't know if, I think Lowe's may have them too, but they have these McDonald's. They have these self-serve automated systems. Mm-hmm. Now, is that, because I got my feelings about that. Is that what you're talking about? Is that part of what you're talking about, where they move from human capital to where you have the kind of like the IT capital, if you will, because it's all automated. It's pretty much all automated in order to be able to get the orders to the people. Is that part of that what you're talking about?
Well, I'm talking about more so. Let's look at a sales process in, let's say, a 5-company entity, right? 5-company entity, and you got sales orders coming in, right? Mm-hmm. So the first thing I'm going to look at is, how are you getting that sales order? How are you getting that proposal to do business with this client? What does that process look like? Mm-hmm. When that client says yes and signs on the dotted line, what does that process look like? Mm-hmm. It's a signed piece of paper, someone carries it in, do you scan it into the system? Right. Or is it done on an iPad, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is try to eliminate some printing. So I'm trying to eliminate as much printing as possible and let systems hand off to each other. It could be one system, it could be multiple systems that communicate with each other. Mm-hmm. Gotcha. So, but you don't know what it is. So to answer your question, I am talking, potentially it could be some type of self ordering system. It could be that. Or it could be something as simple as, to use your other example, an invoice that needs to be signed off by several different people. Mm-hmm. It could be a workflow stating that, okay, if this invoice is over $200, it needs to go to this person. And if it isn't, then it goes straight through. It goes straight through to the invoice. So there's a lot of different scenarios that, when I say automation, and that could be one of them where you actually have a self-serve type of functionality. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, with larger ticket items, we all know that it's people, right? It's here. Yeah. It's here. It's that relationship.
Definitely. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about your company and the products and services that your company provides. Tell the people a little about what you do or the products and services that you offer to people, and how what they receive if they want to do business with you.
Well, as I stated earlier, the reason why Matrix Connect Group was birthed 5 years ago, it was because I saw that small, mid-sized businesses were getting left out. Entrepreneurs are getting left out. They weren't getting the level of consultation that large corporations are getting. So they didn't understand the value of moving information quickly. So they're just focusing on getting business, and that was it. Also, they weren't getting proper marketing. So things, promotional products, they're printing these posters, flyers, brochures, sales booklets. those type of things. They were getting it, but they had to order huge amounts
Right.
in order to get those volume discounts.
Right.
So I have a printing division of Matrix Connect Group that handles that need for small and sized businesses that can handle their business cards. Anything related to printing, we can handle.
Okay. Okay.
So that's one aspect of Matrix Connect Group. And then there's also the promotional products, shirts, hats, mugs, any type of promotional products, because you can have the best mousetrap in the world. You know, but people don't know about you. What good is it? So you have to market. So you have to print media. You have to have, promotional products, right, to give to your clients and prospects, and to market yourself as a marketing BPM right now as we speak.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one aspect of Matrix Connect Group, and there's also the consulting division of Matrix Connect Group, and that's something that we really focus on,
Mm-hmm.
is because that's what's going to give our clients the biggest bang for their buck. The other aspect, the printing and promotional, are kind of just ways we can build relationships and show care. We don't try to make a bunch of money on a promotional product. We just know that that's something that's necessary for every business. Right. So that's why we decided to offer that service. But the consulting is where we focus. And also, what good is having a business if you're not healthy?
Right.
So that's why we developed a relationship with a company called My Telemedicine, and we offer telemedicine services where it's on the only Spanish-speaking platform in the country. So you access a doctor 24/7, no matter where you are in the country. Right directly from your phone or your laptop, or you can pick up the phone and call them and get service 24/7, 7 days a week. Again, no matter where you are in the country. And if you have a business and you have at least 5 employees, you pay $50 a month, and it covers your employees and their families, $10 a month per employee. Wow. It covers the employee and their families.
Wow.
For $10 a month, no insurance needed, unlimited usage. It's unreal. I've been using it personally for 5 years. So I loved it so much, I said, I have to partner with this company. Because I know it's going to help people. I know it's going to help people. And also includes behavior, health, concierge service. So if you have an outstanding bill, you can upload that bill into the system as long as it's not collections, and we will speak on your behalf. The company will speak on your behalf. This is not my company. Again, this is the affiliation I have with this company, and I just offer it, introduce it to people.
Absolutely.
So, because it's something that's needed.
Absolutely. Now, how can folks connect with you, with your company to get your services that you offer?
My email is matrix. Excuse me, my website matrixconnectgroup.com, matrixconnectgroup.com. That is my website. My email address, you can email info@matrixconnectgroup.com, matrixconnectgroup.com, info@matrixconnectgroup.com. And if you like, you can email me directly, troy@matrixconnectgroup.com.
That is awesome, brother. And one more time, just tell the folks when they can tune in to your live series and be able to check out all of this great information that they're going to be getting coming up the third Thursdays beginning in July, when they can when they can expect to let people know when they can tune in to your series and be able to catch you and all of the great information that you're going to be giving.
We will be sharing, information and building connections with people that tune in on, as you stated, on the third Thursday at 7 p.m. That's the third Thursday at 7 p.m. on Facebook Live on the Black Professional Men's platform. And at the end of every session, we'll be giving away a Black Professional Men t-shirt at the end, but you have to tune in for the whole series now. No, we can't just log in at the end. So we want to make sure that, you know, that we're doing the best for you and the best for BPM and the best for everyone. So it'd be cheating if we allowed you to do that.
I know they try and come on the last 5 minutes to catch and get the t-shirt.
Yes,
it's not going to work like that.
Yes,
it's not going to work like that.
So technology allows us to know who's doing that, who's not. Who's nice.
Well, Brother Troy, I appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule to come and talk to us on this platform and to be able to give the great knowledge and the information and resources that you've given. Because I told y'all, this is about positioning our entrepreneurs, our businesses, our community for success. And with brothers like Troy out here doing what they do, they're going to position you not only for success, but for greatness, because they have those tools that are going to equip you to be able to have the impact that you want to have. So, Brother Troy, thank you again for joining us, and we look forward to your series coming up. That's going to be coming up with on the Black Professional Men's group page, and their not just the group page, but on their platforms that that we have. And it's been awesome having this conversation with you. So y'all don't forget to tune in. Brother Troy, thank you again. Y'all know what I say. This is 2020. We move fast and furious with purpose and passion. And as I always say, chase the impact, because when you chase the impact, you change the world. And people like Troy Mobley are changing the world, one entrepreneur, one business at a time. So we appreciate y'all, and we'll talk to y'all next time. Talk to you soon.